Ding, that's my bell. Welcome to the February 22nd, 2021 Jamestown Rotary meeting. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. If you look at Mike Roberts, he's got a flag right there. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States
and
of
to
America,
the republic
and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
one nation,
indivisible,
with
liberty,
liberty and
justice
justice for all.
Couldn't catch it.
Please welcome Sue Jones, who will give us our invocation today.
Please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we ask that you hold your Rotary servant, past District Governor Jack D'Amico, tight in your arms as he comes to you after his many years of wonderful service on earth. It's good to recognize how different we are, our talents, our dreams, our backgrounds, our occupations. And it is good to know that when you created each of us, you broke the mold. No one else is exactly like anyone else. Even our thumbprint and our voice track tell us how unique we are. Yet we thank you that we can take these differences and mobilize them for the good of Rotary and our community. In our differences, we can think the same thoughts and move together toward a common goal. Bless us as we meet together. Thank you for our individuality and also for our common bond of Rotary. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Sue. Visiting Rotarians and guests, I know we have Michelle Starwell-Woods with us from the Assistant District Governor. Welcome, Michelle. And we have our presenters with us, Victoria Eckert and Carrie Rayner. Thank you for being with us today. Any other visitors or guests? All right, I feel like Hiroko is a visitor. I see her face again. Very nice. All right, let's repeat the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, number one, is it the truth?
Is it the truth?
Truth.
Number two, is it fair to all concerned?
Is it
Fair
fair to
to
all
all
concerned?
Fair to all concerned.
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
And will it be beneficial to all concerned?
And will it be
beneficial
to all concerned?
Thank you. Announcements. I'd like to recognize Rotary yours recorder, Eric Harvey, today. Is that correct? Going by my schedule. And then Michelle has a couple announcements.
Yeah, I just, was it Sue who gave the invocation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for mentioning past District Governor Jack. I did want to, for anyone who didn't know Jack, he really was kind of larger than life. He had the most upbeat, positive personality, a Rotarian from day one, and always so welcoming to people from not within his club or the district. And I was president of my club when I really was working closely with Jack, and just a wonderful man. When I received the email last night, I honestly shed a few tears because COVID's been devastating in so many ways to so many people, but to lose someone of his stature is truly kind of heartbreaking. And on to happier news, and I'm going to share the link in the chat box, but our district conference is coming up. It's $0 to participate. There's going to be 3 to 4 days of outstanding speakers and even a worldwide community service chance to participate. And the opening kickoff night is kind of going to be like a brew fest, a social hour. And a gentleman by the name of Stephen Ruck from the Brew Masters division of Rotary. I had the chance to participate in one of his workshops, and he is really funny. So I encourage everyone to attend. Each link for each day or talk is different. So if you sign up for one thing, that doesn't mean it's going to cross-reference to all the other options. And my goal for Area 16, all the clubs in Chautauqua County, is to have at least 50 Rotarians take part in at least one virtual event. You can do it in your pajamas from the pleasure of your own home and couch. And again, it's free. Outstanding speakers, a lot going on. I'm going to share the link in the chat room, and hopefully we'll get a lot of participation. And that's all. Thank you so much, Joni.
Thank you. Any questions for Michelle? The information is in the emails that the district is sending out. Committee chairs, do you have any announcements?
Yay, literacy does.
I can always count.
Okay, can you still hear me? Okay. On behalf of President Joni and on behalf of the Jamestown Rotary Club and on behalf of our literacy committee, I am very pleased to announce that our little laundromat bookshelves are going to be featured at our district conference. And they are going to be part of the hospitality event, which is going to be what I'm calling books and beer. And just hearing from Michelle about the speaker, I assume that's one of the one of those great fun committees, the international committees, right? That's awesome. So I really, really, really would like to encourage all the members of our club to sign up for hospitality, books and beer, and see our little laundromat bookshelves being featured. I was not aware initially that Governor Frank was urging all of our clubs to work on literacy this year, you know, that being a priority. And I believe we're one of 3 clubs and hopefully more that will be featured. So I want to give a big shout out to everyone, and in particularly the great literacy committee for all the work they've been doing. And we've got a lot more that we'll be doing throughout the rest of the year. So I hope you'll join us. I've already asked the literacy committee members to sign up. They have the link, and I'm glad Michelle is making sure it's attached. And I hope you'll sign up, at least you know, raise a glass for all of us. Thank you.
Congratulations, yay!
Yeah, great. Thank you, Diana. Any other committee announcements?
I have a youth service announcement. First, just
Okay,
to
Jerry.
tag on to Diana, another good reason to sign up is we will be recognized for our presidential citation as well at the conference. So this is a nice conference that that you all did that, and it'd be really nice to have a lot of members there for that as well. I do have a youth services announcement. It's not a happy one. They have decided to suspend exchange for the 2021-22 year. And it's not unexpected. It's still disappointing. I reached out to the 3 kids that our club was working with and let them know. Honestly, I haven't heard back from them, so I'm going to call them just to make sure they got the messages. But I'm sure they're, you know, making different plans for the fall now because they won't be going out. So it's a sad thing, but hopefully we'll come back stronger the next year and move forward. Also, we've lost a couple of members, longtime Rotarians from the youth services portion. Fredonia lost David, and then also the gentleman from Holly. So hopefully the district committee will get stronger and we'll get a lot of kids again and we'll get it going again. I think people will be itching to travel. So that's my hope.
Now, Sherry, the citation was for your year?
Yes. And so they're recognizing.
Congratulations.
Yes. There's
Good for
going to be a little video from my understanding. I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
Do you know which session that's going to be?
I don't, but as soon as I get the information, I'll let you know. I know they were trying to compile a video and I don't know exactly where it fits into the whole plan, but I will let you know.
Terry,
Yes.
we ran into the Wendells the other evening, and their daughter is now in Spain.
Yes.
Happily and wonderfully ensconced for her first year of college. And again, they thanked us for all of her adventures in
I think that's
Slovakia.
wonderful.
Yeah.
She's put some nice pictures out on Facebook. And I think the cool thing is that oftentimes when we have kids, they go and do exchanges or they do different things. So I know Patrick, who I still want to get to come in and do his program, actually spent the month of December in Italy. He's our boy that went to Finland and made a friend when he was in Finland who was from Italy and went and spent the month there. And I'm trying to think, Nick also did a semester that was interrupted in England. So all these kids, once they get started, they just keep going. So it's a wonderful program. So thank you. I'm glad you mentioned that, Sue.
Define friend.
Maybe he'll tell you about it when he does his presentation. I doubt it though.
Everyone needs friends.
That's
Fantastic. Any other committee announcements? All right. not
One
very
from
many.
me,
Oh, okay.
and it's not an announcement, it's a request from Mike Roberts. I dropped my entire key ring someplace, I believe in the driveway, and I believe the snowplow plowed it into the bank. And so my key ring is not coming back until next spring. Can I have another fob for the office? We lost Mike. Well, I will contact him. Or if one of you wishes
I'm
to share
here,
your fob
Sue.
with me.
I'll send it to you.
Thank you very
I'll mail
much.
it
I
to you.
appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I'm willing to pay for it because it was my fault.
I got you covered.
My husband made me pay for the new key fob.
That's not true. That is not. I just
In
made
other
it pay to reprogram it.
That's because he's mean. That's why.
Okay.
He's
in
just plain
time.
mean, Sue.
The
Joni?
Rotary Board of Directors meeting this Friday at 9 o'clock. Use the same link as I sent out before, but I'll send it out again. And then our club is in need of a treasurer beginning July 1st. So if this is something you're even the least bit interested in, please contact me. It's an important position. I'm sure it doesn't take a pile of time, but it's an important thing, important position for our club. So let me know if you're interested. How about any other announcements?
Just real quick, Joni.
Yeah.
I'll mention that there is a literacy committee meeting this Thursday at noon.
Okay. Well, let's move into Happy Bucks. Who's got a Happy Buck? No happiness.
Hey, I'll pay a happy buck that our club is being featured at the conference, and another
Yeah.
happy buck
Great.
for your citation
Yeah.
on behalf of the club.
So I only have a
All
happy
right.
50 cents because I sold my boat and left after I did my right leg injury, and I didn't think I'd ever be boating again. But I just had to say, wait a minute, I moved back here just because of that dumb lake. So now I am a old pontoon boat fart. So I'm going to go putt-putting around the lake, but I can still drink an occasional beer. And so that's my happy buck. I'll be back on the water come May, late May.
Good for you, Greg. You've been through a lot. You too,
Hey, Greg.
Sue. Congratulations.
Greg and Sue, it's your chance. You could be boat lift operators.
Oh, absolutely. Hydraulic, honey.
No, I meant like you could provide rides to people.
Oh, absolutely. And we're going to do tours down the safari tours down the outlet.
Well,
Water
I'm
taxi.
going to have to license the boat as a public vessel.
You have your license.
Yeah.
I do have a happy buck.
Is I skied
Yep.
with my 4-year-old grandson yesterday for the first time. We went on some blacks and some blues
Whoa.
at Peak and Peak. He's been taking lessons all year, and after his lesson, he said he wanted to take a couple of runs, and we did.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
4 years old.
Great, wonderful
Oh, my.
grandfather.
Other happy bucks.
Joni, I
Yeah.
have one happy buck for Doors
Okay.
Open. Jamestown will be this Saturday, February 27th. It will be a Facebook event, and I just put the link to the Chamber's site. It's not posted yet, but just look for that. We have our last meeting tomorrow, but it will be follow the red brick road of Jamestown, and we'll go through all the attractors. And Joni did a great job pulling together the article for the event. So hopefully everyone will show up. There's a chance to win prizes. You have to watch each episode to see if you can find the hidden items in each attraction. So it's fun. It's a way to let people know Jamestown is open and to come and see us. So hopefully
It'll
everybody
open
will
at
be
noon.
there. At noon?
It'll start at,
On the 27th. So
yeah.
here's a happy buck.
Any other happy bucks? Not hearing anything, we will welcome Kurt Young, who will introduce our speaker, and Victoria, I'm going to make you the host so that you can share your presentation.
And if you can make us both co-hosts, that would be helpful because I'm going to help share something as well.
I don't know. Let me see if I can do that.
Well, if we need to, Victoria can share the host.
Yes. You
with
may
me
have to
if she
host
needs to.
you.
All right.
You
Well,
make everybody host.
it's my pleasure to introduce our program today and our presenters. As a brief introduction, I'd like to share something that I found in the Rotarian, so the Rotary magazine from December 1980. And there was an article in there about an individual from Baltimore, a member of Rotary, who received a Paul Harris Fellowship and wanted to give that to another person. And so he chose to give it to Mother Teresa. And it tells the story of his travels to India, actually, to give Mother Teresa his Paul Harris Fellowship recognition. And he goes on to say at the end of the article, to see this amazing woman's accomplishments and Rotary at its finest, he toured several Rotary clubs in India. As exemplified by the splendid service projects I was shown in India, was truly the opportunity of a lifetime. It was the one event of my life that has made the greatest impression, and it has strengthened my own desire to serve. All fork and spoon Rotarians, if they could live the experience of my trip to India, would understand what Mother Teresa means when she says it is not how much we do, but the love we invest in our efforts that really matters. Upon being awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, Mother Teresa refused the traditional awardee dinner, saying she would rather that the money, several $1,000s, be given to help the poor. However, she was pleased to attend a far more modest dinner hosted by the Calcutta Midtown Rotary Club, at which more than 300 local Rotarians and their wives were present. Upon being presented with a Paul Harris Fellow certificate, medal, and pen, Mother Teresa said in part, "Now I am a Rotarian. If you join Rotary to say you are Rotarian and come for fellowship and a meal, don't join," she said. She went on to say, "Become a Rotarian only if you are willing to serve until it hurts." These are the words of a saint. That concludes the article in the Rotarian. I want to thank all of my fellow Rotarians for your dedication to our local as well as global communities, for the example you've set for me as a newcomer to our region. Now, of all the work that I've been a part of in serving our local community, the opportunity to work with Victoria Eckert and Carrie Rayner with the Suicide Prevention Alliance has been one of the most rewarding. Now, with that, I want to introduce our two speakers today. So Victoria Eckert, the Community Engagement Coordinator and Training Specialist for the Chautauqua County Department of Mental Hygiene, has her Master of Science in Social Administration with a focus on children, youth, and family social work from the Mandel School of Applied Social Sciences at Case Western Reserve University. She's a licensed social worker in New York State. She has been actively involved with the implementation and direction of the System of Care initiative throughout Chautauqua County since 2008. With her extensive passion for community outreach and involvement in systems enhancement work with Chautauqua Tapestry. Victoria is also a certified instructor in many evidence-based mental health training curricula. Since 2010, Victoria has created and organized various mental health awareness initiatives throughout Chautauqua County, which have ranged from multifaceted, large-scale community events to awareness campaigns. In 2013, Victoria was essential in developing and implementing a county-wide suicide prevention campaign that won the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration's Excellence in Community Communications and Outreach Award, and she has been the coordinator for the Suicide Prevention Alliance since 2014. In 2019, Chautauqua County's exemplary suicide prevention efforts were featured in the National Children's Mental Health Awareness Month celebration aired nationwide. Our other presenter, Carrie Rayner. Carrie is a suicide loss survivor. After losing her husband, Dan, to suicide in 2007, she has found her passion in helping other survivors and educating the community on suicide prevention and awareness. She founded the Rayner Memorial Golf Tournament in honor of her husband and has raised over $110,000 in 8 years. The tournament proceeds are donated to the suicide prevention efforts within Chautauqua County, to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and to support local families with the unforeseen costs after the loss of a loved one to suicide. Her support does not end at a donation. She also facilitates a support group for lost survivors that gives a trusted outlet of connection, encourages the power of storytelling, and helps them along their grief journey without judgment. Carrie is a certified trainer in many evidence-based mental health curricula that supports ages across the lifespan. In 2019, at the Suicide Prevention Center of New York State Conference, Carrie was an honored keynote speaker and was presented the Award of Excellence, Journey of Healing. Carrie also sits on the board of directors for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, the Western New York chapter. She resides in Bemis Point with her daughter Lakin and her Boston Terrier, Otis Pickle. She believes that life is way too short not to have fun. She enjoys spending time with friends and family on the lake, camping, hiking, gardening, or just sitting around the campfire telling jokes, listening to music, and showing off her unforgettable dance moves. So with that, I will turn the time over to Victoria Eckert.
Great. Thank you all so much for that lovely introduction, Kirk. And we wanted to thank everyone on the call today for just inviting us to your meeting and giving us an opportunity to talk about something we are obviously both extremely passionate about, not only because it's personal to us. You know, we have a personal connection to suicide loss, both Carrie and myself. But this, you know, I think sometimes when we are in the field of helping others and giving back to the community, I think a lot of times, you know, you hear that this is a calling, and that is certainly true for both Carrie and myself. And we never miss an opportunity to share not only our personal stories, but our passion for this work to hopefully educate the community about the robust resources that we have here in our county that will hopefully educate our community members, and then, you know, in the future, save more lives, even more so in Chautauqua County. So with that said, I wanted to start a little bit here. Carrie and I are going to share our presentation today. And, you know, you may have recognized the Suicide Prevention Alliance, formerly known as the Community Alliance for Suicide Prevention. We have just rebranded. And so this group is the lucky #1 group in Chautauqua County to not only see our brand new logo and branding, but we also are launching a brand new website, which we'll share with you, and also a video campaign as well that we'll share with you at the end of our presentation. And so you may recognize us from our previous name, some of our billboards that you've seen as you've driven around the county. And this is our brand new logo. As you can see here, it's a lighthouse, really to shed be that beacon of light in Chautauqua County, that there is hope here, there is help here, and anyone can reach out a hand when it comes to suicide prevention. And so with that said, I wanted just to give a really brief background story on the Alliance, which I'll refer to as our group going forward. Back in 2009, you know, we were having some discussions within our Chautauqua Tapestry Governance Board about how there were many groups in Chautauqua County that focused on different preventative outreach, different causes, different initiatives, but there wasn't a single group in Chautauqua County that solely focused on suicide prevention. As you can imagine, that's where the Community Alliance for Suicide Prevention was born. We had then put in place a mission statement. And as you can see here on the screen, we are recognizing that, you know, suicide is a community-wide problem. It's not just the county's problem. It's not just a specific entity's problem. This was where we decided that this was an effort that needed to be embraced by the entire community. We know through extensive research that has been done globally that suicide prevention is a community effort. It is not one entity. It can be recognized by anyone in the community, regardless of your background, education, level of expertise. And with that, we are dedicated to promoting and protecting life and fostering that shared responsibility as a group as well. And we do this through a variety of ways, which we'll go into a little bit of detail. We raise awareness. We look at what our community supports are, how we can collaborate, partner, bring people together while embracing that hopefulness and resiliency in our community. So what we do here on this slide, we wanted to give a comprehensive overview of what the Community Alliance for Suicide Prevention does now, the Suicide Prevention Alliance of Chautauqua County. I had mentioned before, we focus on community awareness initiatives and events, and many of those things are probably events that you may be extremely familiar with. I have a lot of friends on the call, and so many volunteers for the Alliance that are on the call as well. And you know, you might have heard of our Jamestown Out of the Darkness Walk that we partner with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. You may have ran in our Glow Your Mind 5K, which is our glow in the dark 5K in downtown Jamestown. Among others. We have training and community education, which I'll tell you a little bit about in the next slides. Partnership and collaboration development. So this is really looking to our partners in the community, our school districts, our college campuses, businesses, organizations, on how you know, policy and procedures are put into play in the office or in the community on how suicide prevention is looked at in each of those entities. And not only postvention or prevention, but also thinking of intervention and then postvention. So how do we handle when the unfortunate day comes where there is a loss by suicide in our community? I'll talk a little bit about, actually Carrie will talk a little bit about the Sources of Strength curriculum that we partner with school districts on. She'll also discuss our sudden loss care team and support for survivors as well. So I had mentioned before just a general overview of our community awareness events. I mentioned the Out of the Darkness Walk. With that walk, we partner with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, among many of our other initiatives. And AFSP is the nation's leading research expert in the field of suicide prevention. And so with them, we partner with them on training and marketing and outreach, loss survivor support in materials, but also with education and training. Carrie and I and many of our community members in Chautauqua County have been lucky enough to be trained in many evidence-based curriculums that we offer free of charge into the community for education. I mentioned the 5K. We have a memorial golf tournament in memory of Carrie's husband. We also do a motorcycle run in partnership with the Dwyer program for veterans and first responders. We also have an International Survivors of Suicide Loss Day that supports people that have lost a loved one to suicide the Saturday before Thanksgiving every year. We do an indoor triathlon, typically in February. Of course, this year it postponed due to COVID-19. PS I Love You Day, which is an elementary school effort, and then Tie-Dye for Hope with our college campuses. So I mentioned before training and community outreach initiatives. Here you can see the large curriculums that we offer as part of the Alliance as free of charge, again, mostly supported by the Chautauqua County Department of Mental Hygiene, as well as our Chautauqua Tapestry funding through SAMHSA. And these range from large day events, you know, the youth mental health first aid that teaches, you know, non-emergency and crisis response to anyone that is experiencing any kind of mental health conditions or crisis in their life. We also have some other suicide gatekeeper trainings, which are general overview trainings that teach community members skills to recognize signs of warning signs and what to do and how to keep someone safe, which we'll give you a very tiny preview of that in just a moment. And then, as you can see, there's many other initiatives that we do here. We work with law enforcement, we work with school districts, and many other groups in the community as well. So I'm actually going to turn it over to Carrie now, and she's going to tell you a little bit about some of our programming in more depth.
Thank you, Victoria. Thank you all for having us today. So sources of strength. Sources of strength is a social emotional learning program that we are implementing in the school districts, middle school and high school, and elementary curriculum. And what Sources of Strength does is it changes the mental health culture in the schools. Okay, it encourages help-seeking behaviors, and it helps the students recognize what supports we have around us, right? And as you can see, the wheel on the left of the screen, family support, positive friends, mentors, and so on. We talk about family support, which all looks different for all of us, right? So we're giving that to the students. They do campaigns with in the schools. Maybe it's on trusted adults and notify, you know, saying, hey, this is who my trusted adult is, and in hopes that the other students see that, hey, you know, Mr. Smith is a trusted adult. Maybe I could go to him if I'm not feeling well or if something's bothering me. And it goes around the wheel for all of those. The elementary curriculum is a little different. That's for grades 3 through 5. And this is that upstream prevention where we're talking about self-regulation, when we have anxiety, when we're mad. It's learning about how we feel and how we react. And we know through research that we know if we can learn how to self-regulate at an early age, down the road, we won't be as sick as we get older. Okay. So coming here, suicide warning signs, you know, we could tell you about everything that we do, but we want to give you a little knowledge too. When we're talking about the warning signs of suicide, you know, when someone is in a crisis, they talk about things, about being a burden to other, you know, being a burden to others. They talk about killing themselves directly or indirectly, having no reason to live, or even feeling trapped. Anytime someone talks about suicide, we always want to, you know, we want to make sure that we're taking them seriously, not that we just slough it off that they're joking. We also notice their mood changes, right? Lost interest of doing things that they usually like to do. They have depression, anxiety, irritability, even rage. And then their behaviors change. And these are noticeable things that happen. Increased use of drugs and alcohol, isolating themselves from their friends and family, giving away their prized possessions, aggression, even calling or visiting people and saying goodbye. When we see these behaviors in someone, that's when we want to have a conversation with them. Okay. So how do we increase safety? Have that honest conversation. Talk, listen, tell, and ask about suicide. And I know people think that if we're, you know, if we bring up suicide, it's going to put it in someone's mind, and that is not true. When we have a conversation with someone, what it does is it shows them that we honestly care. We're going to talk to them. We're going to listen to what they say. We're going to tell them we care. We see what's going on. We're going to let them know that, hey, I noticed that you haven't been coming to, you know, Bible study. I noticed that you haven't been, you know, going to the ball games, whatever behaviors that we see that are different in them. And we're going to ask questions directly. Removing lethal means, remove anything that could be used to take their life. We never want to leave someone alone when they're in crisis. We want to help them seek help. Sorry, that chat's popping up in the middle of my screen. We never want to leave someone alone, and we want to get other people to help as well. You know, whether that's calling 911 if it's a crisis right now, if that's calling the suicide hotline together, if that's taking them to, you know, an appointment with their counselor or helping them find a counselor. There's a group at the Mental Health Association called Alternatives to Suicide Support Groups. And this is a group for those who have thoughts of suicide or have made a suicide attempt. It's, excuse me, it's a safe, caring environment, everything, you know, non-judgmental. And this is a place for those that can gather together. Sheridan Smith runs this over in Jamestown at the Mental Health Association, Wednesday evenings. And we also have the Sudden Loss Care Team. And this is a team of support people that after the loss, a tragic loss,
716.
it's folks that come together to help those, whether we're showing up at, you know, if we lost someone to suicide, maybe we go to where they were employed and talk to, you know, the folks that they worked with, you know, talking about, you know, what we know happened to them, you know, the information that the family says that we can talk about, and giving those folks support, because we know any traumatic loss, it's hard to process and we don't know where to go and why it happens. So we have a group of folks that will come together in the community to talk to everyone, give them supports. We have information. We could help plans. Okay. Survivor Suicide Loss Support Group. I facilitate this group. Currently, we are virtual, and this is a nice, safe place for loss survivors to get together, to share their stories, to talk about the struggles that they have after the loss, and just to support each other. It's a really nice group. And, you know, if you know someone that has lost a loved one to suicide, please have them reach out and join us. And we just find so much comfort together. And here are some resources that, you know, we share with everyone. We ask everyone to please put these numbers in your phone. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. You may not need it for yourself, but you may know someone that may need this. You know, 1-800-273-8255, or the crisis text line. And this is a line where you can, you know, a lot of people today prefer texting. So we're going to text, you know, home 741-741. And this just isn't for suicide. This is any type of crisis to 741-741. And you could reach us at the preventsuicidechq.com, or my number is there and my email address. And thank you again for allowing us to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you. Carrie and Victoria, we appreciate your time. Anyone have questions for them?
Thank you, Joni. We're also going to have we have a short video if there's time to show, and I think I had sent it to Kirk. Do we have a few minutes to show a short video?
Sure. Let me just say one thing. The Rotary Y that I forgot to do, we're going to do next week. So go ahead and show your video. Thank you.
Thank you.
Victoria, I'll need you to assign host privileges to me. righty. All right, do you see my screen there?
Yep.
It has that taboo effect of we don't talk about it, but we do want to talk about it to let people know suicide is real. People have suicidal thoughts all the time and they don't reach out for help.
Ugh, stigma is an awful thing. We see it all the time. People are reluctant to come in for services because maybe they're afraid of what their family would think, or their neighbors, or their employer, or whoever. It's caused by an imbalance of particular chemicals in the brain. So it's nothing to be ashamed of.
The military and first responders, there is a big stigma. They are taught to be strong and not really talk about their issues.
It can be very difficult to maybe express that you're struggling. Anyone can be at risk for suicide at any time. We are missing people who may be struggling and we may not even know it.
I mean, I'm a pretty good swimmer, but if I put my hand up in the water and say I need a lift, I need a lift. And I need it now, because if not, I could go under.
They feel they're fine, they're tough, that's what they've done, and they feel like if they need to seek out services, that means that they're weak. We want to say to them, no, it's okay, because that's part of your healing.
When this happens, it doesn't feel like there's hope, but whether you feel it or not, there is.
Understand that we're all people. Diagnosis is just something that, is part of the person, but it doesn't define them.
I know what it's like to grow up as a young person and not feel understood. I want to encourage young people to feel comfortable in their own skin and that there is hope. There are ways to get help.
Chautauqua County has some great resources. Many people that are so willing to help and not hold somebody in judgment.
We are not judgmental. We're peers. We're all people with lived experience who've had our own struggles with our mental health. We run a 24/7 warm line, a virtual line, and a texting line for people in the county. A warm line is just a connection.
This really great evidence-based upstream prevention curriculum called Sources of Strength, and we implement that in a lot of school districts across the county. They use an active learning model. They incorporate art, small group sharing, storytelling to really understand what young people are going through.
The Joseph P. Dwyer Veterans Peer-to-Peer Program. This is a suicide prevention program for veterans. It is designed to have veterans be getting out of the house. It's a peer-to-peer connection. It's non-clinical, and it gives them that opportunity to spend time with vets that understand what they've been through like nobody else.
What our agency does is look out for first responders. They see things that nobody should ever have to see. We want to make sure that the fire service knows that when they go home after a call, they don't have to go home alone. There's people that will be with them, will check on them, will make sure that they're going to be okay.
Everyone in my organization who's a certified recovery peer advocate is trained to recognize the signs of a crisis. And of course, we all have the resources, we know who to get people to. And specifically, I run a group called Alternatives to Suicide.
NAE, which is the National Equine Institute of Growth Through Healing Incorporated. And we assist people that suffer with PTSD or anxiety, stress, suicidal thoughts. We help them with the use of horses.
We are the off-hours mental health provider here in Chautauqua County, so we are available from 4 p.m. during the week till 8 in the morning, and then 24 hours a day on weekends and holidays to respond to people who are in mental health crisis.
As the Department of Mental Hygiene, we are charged with oversight of all of the mental health and chemical dependency services within Chautauqua County. So we are heavily involved with not only our own mental health and substance abuse clinics, but also all of the community partners.
The Suicide Prevention Alliance was founded to address some of the issues about suicide through bringing people together through collaborations, resource sharing, trainings, and a lot of other things that we do through the Alliance work.
We have the 911, that's the easiest, especially in an emergency situation. We have had people that call our non-emergency number and ask for help, and sometimes that's more beneficial. We can just talk to somebody. We'd much rather have them make that initial call before they get into a crisis.
It is okay to not be okay. There are moments in our lives that are going to tear us to pieces. They're going to make us rethink everything. They're going to change our perspective. You might feel like you're at rock bottom, but there's hope. There are people who understand. And growing up in this area, sometimes that's hard to think about.
There's no need to struggle alone. There's so many resources and caring people within our community that are here to help.
There's lots of veterans in our community, and they care about each other, and they want everybody to be okay. Whatever is the best for you will help you get there.
There's people out there that care. There's people out there that are concerned. We as a community want to work together. What seems like an emergency right now or a crisis right now can be worked through. And there's many people that are so willing to help.
Mental health is important because I think it's probably the most neglected part of life. I would say that it's happened to me, that I've had to reach out. We all have to look out for each other, and we have to be kind. We have to help each other. We have to recognize when someone's off.
We're there for people, and we're there to foster hope. We're there, for genuine support and genuine relationship building in order to just make sure people know they never have to struggle alone. Nobody has to struggle in silence because there is always someone available.
We all have dark days. None of us are immune from that. Those dark days will pass, and there are people that can help to get you through that. So don't ever give up, and don't ever be afraid to reach out for help.
This moment is not going to be the rest of your life, but this moment is just this moment, and the next one can be anything. There are going to be times when life is difficult, but then there are going to be times where life is amazing.
Tomorrow is a new day. And I think just to be able to give people hope that it will get better and that there are a lot of resources out there, and to please take a step in any direction forward and reach out for help.
It's an acronym, and it uses the word hope, and it's hold on, pain ends. People believe that pain is going to happen, going to be non-ending, but more often than not, that pain is temporary.
Feel comfortable in saying, I need help. I don't know how to do that. Please help me. There's a lot of ways to do that here, and we want people to know that they're not alone.
Thank you, Kurt. Thank you, Victoria and Carrie. Very interesting. Any questions for them? Not seeing or hearing anything. Well, thank you. We appreciate your work. We appreciate you keeping us informed on very important matters. Yes?
Have they noticed an uptick in the number of suicide attempts or suicides because of the isolation of the COVID virus?
Yeah, I anticipated that question, actually. Thank you. I think that nationwide and globally, I think that is the trend that we're seeing. Unfortunately, data collection is so far behind. We're typically 1 to 2 years behind. So we won't have accurate, global data for, during the year of COVID-19 there with 2020 and now going into 2021. But that is globally what we are looking at, as well as overdoses as well. And sometimes we don't know if it's a suicide or an overdose. So there's a discrepancy in that data as well. As well as, we estimate that the data around just collecting suicide deaths in general is extremely underreported, not only locally, but nationwide and globally due to just differing reporting methods, as well as sometimes the cause of death isn't as obvious as you may think. And so we hope that by doing talks like this, we're getting information out there and we're creating that that culture in our community that it's okay to talk about something like this and you don't have to suffer in silence. You know, and I know that Carrie's doing a lot of good work with supporting people who have lost someone. You know, Sheridan's doing wonderful work at MHA with supporting those who have attempted suicide. So the more we talk about it and the more we can get the information out there and make people feel less isolated and alone to deal with, you know, all of the uncertainty that we're all struggling with right now, I think the better off we'll be. But thank you. Any other questions?
I'm not hearing any.
No.
Go ahead.
And I just wanted to mention that the Alliance has recently become a non-for-profit organization, so we're really excited to share that. And Carrie is going to be leading that charge. So we had left her email on that presentation. She probably can put it in the chat. So if you're interested in trainings or collaboration, professional development, anything Carrie and I can help you with, please reach out to us at any time.
Thank you. A donation to the Rotary International Polio Plus Fund will be made in your honor for this presentation today. So we're working at eradicating polio around the world as international Rotarians. Thank you. Next Monday, we'll be hearing from the Jamestown Fire Department. Talk about a switch. So enjoy your week, and remember, Rotary opens opportunities. What will you see this week where you can help your community? Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Victoria. It's a great presentation.
Joni, you forgot her again.
No, she wrote me a chat. She chatted me and put it to next week.
All right.
So, you know, I just
okay, because you sent us all that chat that you were going to do it, and then I waited for it. Okay.
I know.
That's
and
all
then
right.
I said at one point, it's not going to happen.
Oh, I didn't see that one. That didn't go to all of us. Okay.
Well, please, if you would just please fire me, that'd be good. Okay, we're adjourned. Oh, I didn't even say we're adjourned.
That's all right. I should have
See
spoke up when you know, probably during
next time.
Next time I'll just speak up when during the committee, you know, like committee reports.
Yeah.
I'll just speak up then. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
no problem.
Would think I would remember it. Duh.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, if I don't have it written down, I don't. See ya.
Bye.